Hi there everyone. In this video, we are going to make a simple and reusable hook for form handling as well as the validations. As you can see here, there are three fields in this form. Now as I type anything in the email input, it shows an error and also the input box turns red. As I'm writing the valid email, then the error has gone and the box has also turned green. So unless I write the valid input, it will keep showing the error. Same for the second input. These errors and validations are customizable. When I click on the submit, as you can see in the console, we are getting all the input values. If you try to submit form when there are errors, then it also gives you a pop-up which tells you to write a valid input. First of all, make sure you have created React app using this command npx create React app and your app name. Create React app command helps you to create and configure your React applications. I have already created one. After you create your app, make sure to change your directory to that apps directory. If you are using a VS Code, then just write code dot. This will open the project folder in the VS Code. Start your React development server by typing npm start. Let's remove the unnecessary code. Create one input for email. Make sure to add name in the input. Let's just copy this and create more inputs. One is for password and other is for the username. Now the last one is the submit button. Just add class name, submit in here, and our form is ready. Let's add some CSS quickly. You can grab the CSS from the link in the description. I think there is some problem. Oops, I forgot to add this inputs inside the form tag. And now our form is ready. Create a hooks folder in the components. Now in this folder, let's create a custom hook. Create one file and give it a name. Here I am keeping the useform.js. Now make sure whenever you are creating a hook, You can keep the file name different, but you must add the use keyword before the name of the hook, like use effect, use state, etc. Here I'm using an extension for creating this snippet. This is the extension which has around 3.7 million downloads. First, let's create a state to store all the inputs. Initialize it with an empty object. We also need a state to store errors, so create the same empty object state. In the form, we are going to use both of these states, so make sure to add them in the return statement. Create a method to handle the form inputs. This method takes event as an argument. Event.persist method clears the default events if there is any. First, let's log the name and value of the input element so that we can see if this method is working or not. Make sure to return this method as well. Open the app.js file. First, let's see what we need from the hook. For now, we need the handle change method. We are deconstructing the handle change method from the use form hook. Don't forget to import the use form hook. Let's connect this handle change method to all the three inputs with the onChange event. As you can see here, when I start writing in the email input, it is showing in the console. Remove these two lines. Let's set these values in the state. Now set values. First, we copy all the old values using a spread operator. Then we will add the new value as a key value pair. This name will be the name of the target element, while the val is going to be the value of that element. In the app.js file, now we are going to use these values, so first deconstruct it from the hook. Let's log the values. As you can see here, we are getting all the values in a single object. Let's create a function to validate these form values. So write const validate. This is an arrow function. It is a function to validate each input values. Now this function will take three arguments: event, name, and value of the element. We're going to use a switch statement for the validation. For the key, we will use the name. In the name of the case, let's write username, which is our third input. If the value.length of this username is less than or equal to 4, then we will set the error state, else we will set the error state empty or remove the error for username input. Inside the set error, we will do the same as we have done to set the values. First, copy the old values using a spread operator, then set the error message for the username input. Now to remove username error from the error state, first we have to store the state in a different variable because we can't make changes to the state object directly. Here I am using the omit function. First import the omit function from the Lodash library. This library provides various functions for different types of objects, arrays, etc. This omit function removes the value from given object and returns a new object. Omit function takes two arguments. First is the object and the second argument is the key value of the object which you want to remove. Let's use this validate function inside the handle change method. Make sure to pass all the three arguments. Let's log the errors. As I type anything in the username, it gives the error. If the length of the username exceeds the limit, then there is no error. Let's create a validation for the email and the password. For this email, we are going to use a regular expression. Write if new reg exp. Here add a regular expression to validate the email. We are going to test the value of the input with a given regular expression. Let's grab the expression for the email validation. This seems right. Just copy this and paste it here. Put an exclamation mark so when the test is false, then if condition becomes true, and we will set the error state. To set the error, just do as we did for the username. Let's check this. And it's working. Now let's validate the password. Copy the email case and change a few things. I already have one regular expression for the password. You can also customize it based on your needs. Passwords are also working. Let's show these errors. Remove this console line. First, we will check if there is an email property inside the errors. Then we will display it. Same for the password and the username. It's working great. Let's create a submit function for this form. This form login function will be the callback for the submit function. So when you submit the form, this function is going to be invoked. Pass this form login function in the use form hook. This is how you can pass your custom functions in the hooks. Now in the use form hook, we can call the callback function from the props. Let's create the handle submit function. You can also stop default events using a prevent default. You can call your callback function inside this submit function. Now pass handle submit to the return statement. Let's use this function inside the form on submit event. And it's working. It is also working even if there is no errors. So we have to put a condition here. If the length of the errors is 0, then call the callback. Else alert the user and show a message that there is no error. And it is working. But there is also one case where the form is empty, and when you click on the submit button, it still executes the callback function. To eliminate this case, we can put another condition where if length of the keys of the value is not 0, then call the callback function. You can manipulate these conditions. There is also some custom validations that you can do directly on the input fields, like minimum length equals 8. Make username required field. As you submit, it tells you that it should at least have 8 characters. Let's style the input based on the errors. If the input is invalid and there is no placeholder shown, then it will have the red border and a green for the valid input. It is working well. That's the end of this video. Hope you learned something from this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.